Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good afternoon everybody. It's Wednesday the 9th, and shout out to happy birthday to AG1, good friend. There's also some people out there that are being kind and supportive, and one of them is Ty. He's shining in some militiaman gear today, so he sent me a message. It was quite nice. Thank you very much. Thank you, by the way. Hey, today is going to be some good news. I think the news has been out the last few days, has been stellar, and some of the things we're going to go over this afternoon. It says the financial experts for the adoption of the slogan "Our Dinar," and that basically is stating that the Iraqi people are about ready to start focusing in on their currency as a main focus. The central bank is doing so, and now even financial experts are out there trying to get the media and other entities to be on board. The private sector, they want a lot of people to start working in conjunction to wean themselves off the dollar, and we've seen numerous things about the dollar being I guess kind of being phased out because the multi-currency practices are unallowed, and the black market is an illegal market, and so they want to only have banks and money exchangers work for the private sector and with the merchants collectively through the central bank in a legal manner. They don't want that illegal side of things happening anymore. So we're seeing that. And basically what they've said here is that the private sector has flexibility in providing solutions that help achieve stability in exchange rates. The matter requires achieving an integration and cooperation between the private sector and the central bank. So they're working side by side, which is a good thing to see, especially at this time frame. And it's suggesting that the citizen is required to refrain from buying any commodity in dollars, and he or she must go to buy goods from a similar merchant who sell in dinars, and therefore reducing the demand for dollars. She says as this mechanism leads to all merchants directly to deal in dinars. So that's a big focus, and it's really becoming a thing. And so they have a new slogan out suggesting as such. The basically it's stating that to achieve the stability of the exchange rate, the refraining and the abandoning of dealing in dinar is a focal point, and the importance of the Ministry of Commerce raising the slogan of dealing in dinars and escalating cases of education through seminars and conferences in the media, so that dealing in dinar is exclusive. And basically it says that the campaign must be launched now to deal in dinars exclusively. They also suggest that it's inevitable that this effort will happen because once they focus in on it and it's a requirement, and if there's consequences to dealing in the dollar if it's illegal, I think it's going to start to show, and we're going to see evidence of that even more and more on a regular basis, I'm assuming, and that could be within days or the next few weeks, who knows, but we'll see how long it takes them to deal with that. One of the things that they also mention is that it's imperative. So they're using some pretty strong language that the dealings in the dinar and these mechanisms need to be agreed upon by the private sector and the merchants along with the central bank. So hey, these guys stress that limiting transactions in dinars represents an important step that raises the value of the dinar and takes the market to a stage of stability. So look forward to seeing them do more and more on this aspect in the short term. So let's see how that goes. Another thing that we see in the news today, it says there are conditions that caused an internal crisis, and what is the importance of Iraq joining the global financial system. It's pretty powerful that they're talking about that Iraq is going to join the global financial system. Well, they're not going to do that with a program rate of 1310. They would have done it already. So we're obviously going to wait and see how they interconnect with this financial system in the coming days, weeks, or minutes, for instance. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But there's a real importance for Iraq's accession to the international financial system. Iraq still needs to develop some of its financial and banking system in order to keep pace with developments. I'm not sure if that's totally true. It looks like they've done a lot over the last few years. And we also know that, as you'll see, they've been at this for some time. It says Jamal Cougar today was basically stated that there was a real importance for this accession. Iraq's accession to the international financial system will enhance the world's confidence in the Iraqi financial and banking system. And this matter opens the door for foreign investment in Iraq. Iraq needs the world's confidence, he states. It's a financial and banking system and removes any suspicions about it. So Article 8 compliance would remove all suspicions as far as I'm concerned. And I think in Patreon and in Discord chat room, you'll find that the crew members agree with that too. It's noteworthy that these applications of the SWIFT system, we all know that the SWIFT system, there was an older one, now there's a newer version of it called the ISO 20022, and obviously they'll be using this new technology in the future. We did see in the past in some of our videos, if you've been through some of them, you'll notice that we talked about XRP as a protocol to be used in the future. I still think it's going to be happening. It basically, as far as the SWIFT system and the restrictions on the dollar, basically are combating money laundering, reducing terrorist financing, and many other steps. But they began this 2 years ago. So we know that this has been a process to grow, to get implemented. But now we're seeing the end phase is when they're doing the final stage, if you will. That's what I'm seeing, is that this should be the final stage. And we also need to be careful of certain things that were said by the good Dr. Shabibi in the past, that there was components to rolling out a revaluation, reinstatement, if you will, that included one of the latter things he said in 2012 was propaganda. So some of these things that we're seeing contradict one another. So when the central bank says it's illegal and they want to shut down the black market, and you see people advertising the black market and that we need more banks to facilitate the dollar, those folks, they've already been on notice to be careful about publishing fake news. So we'll see if which one wins. I don't think that when they talk about opening more banks for the dollar, there was banks that were shut down during the ISIS timeframes that weren't opened back up again. So those banks now, since there's a new system, it can be monitored, it can be properly managed, are likely to be able to get back on the system. And we talked about last week, early Monday, is that the securities depository system is up and ready to go. And we understand that that's still the case, but they need these applications ready to go. And they looks like they are ready to go. Taif Sami, she's the finance minister, said a few days ago when she was with the British ambassador, Iraq needs to take steps to engage in the international financial system. So she's talking with the globe. Largest financial place in the world is London, if I have that right, and it's a good thing. So they're working to no end to be able to get Iraq into the financial global market, and it shows. So here on this particular one, it says the Prime Minister Al-Sudani affirmed that the unified treasury account will be an added contribution to anti-corruption measures. So here we have the SWIFT system, anti-corruption. We have the unified treasury account, has the ability to be a contributor to anti-corruption measures. The electronic payment systems, points of sales. They're basically following up on this, and when they're saying that they completed the unified treasury account, that's a good sign, because that's going to be the monies for the citizens. Revenues from outside the country are going to come in, and they're going to flood that account quite handsomely, from what I understand. Electronic payment procedures, they've enhanced those procedures, and they've made them bigger, stronger, faster. You'll see later on that Visa has an electronic card that can communicate with billions of cards that's coming into the global arena, so you can have instant payments through well, mixed uses. But the fact remains is that it's going to be fast, and it's going to be clean, and it's going to be clear who's doing what. So those are some pretty good things. Basically, this particular article says during the meeting they reviewed progress in completing the Unified Treasury Account and subsequent positive indicators that are reflected in the national financial and banking system. It says these steps come within a government's effort to implement financial and banking reform, and the Unified Treasury Account will be added contribution, et cetera, et cetera. We went over that. So look, these guys say that they're going to do the electronic payment system, the Unified Treasury Account, and here they say they have approval, or they're going to approve electronic receipt documents as substitute for paper receipts. So we've all known that these guys are doing a lot less paper. Most countries are doing paperless, not only no paper, but paperless. And here again, these guys are just following suit with the world, which is really pretty powerful. And here, this article is as what I just got through talking about. It's called Visa Direct. It's a real-time payment service from one side to another, which will enable Iraqi customers to enjoy a real-time transfers for the first time in this country. Basically, the Visa's global architecture is just basically supporting Iraq to integrate into global markets. Exactly what we need, what we want. If they go Article 8 compliant with their currency, they're going to be able to do trade internationally. And from what we can see is that there's evidence just piling up that their goal is to go international. And what does it do? It is combating money laundering, combating financing of terrorism, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, this is the first bank in Iraq that will be able to access their money, move it, use it, and communicate with more than 3 billion cards globally, which maintains accessibility and security. So here Visa moved in. We all know that MasterCard's been there. So, and Western Union and other platforms. So, hey, when you see things like this, you got to say, well, it's about time. We've been at this for many, many years. They've been at it for many, many years. And it looks like it's time for them to join the global financial system. So let's see how that goes. And I think it's going to be a good time. There's also some other pieces. Looks like the Kurdistan Regional Council of Ministers approved a prerequisite for preparing an oil and gas law with the federal government. I'm pretty sure that they've already been over this numerous times. But one of the things that caught my eye was that it stated that in light of law number 22 of 2011, it says, which aims to activate the role of the fund in collecting revenues. That would be the Unified Treasury Account, in my opinion, because it's going to be the place where those collection of revenues is going to land. And so they're talking about this today. So that's between Baghdad and Erbil, and that is for all the people. And I think that's going to be a powerful thing to note in the future, that they published that today, which is fascinating. And so to the latter though, it says that starting on the date of yesterday, 8/8/2023, it says the Central Bank of Iraq is putting banks on notice that if you don't play by the rules, if you are caught doing transactions that are outside compliance and their regulations, they are going to have consequences for you. So the central bank keeps sequences of banknotes that companies receive through banks, and then finding them with speculators and unlicensed people holds the company that leaked them responsible for that and commits them to a serious violation that may be punished by withdrawing the company's license as well as judicial procedures. So it sounds like as the start of yesterday, Iraq is no longer wanting to take it lightly, that if you're going to be doing illegal behavior, you're going to have consequences. And basically it states in the event of a repeat violations, this bank may be permanently prevented from entering the foreign currency and buying and selling window. So you take the risk of never being able to do business again. So some of these things that have come out in the last 24 to 48 hours show that they're going for a market economy, and that's where we're all here for. It says in this particular article, it says Parliamentary Finance launches its forecast on the course of exchange rate during the coming period. This particular, I think it's Jamal Cougar, Interestingly enough, this gentleman seems to play both sides of the fence, and he's pretty good at it. So whatever suits his needs seems to be the way that this guy rolls. But in this particular case, he's talking about the government will have to inject large amounts of dollars into local markets in the coming days. His point of view is that the resources of the Iraqi state are in dollars, but it needs the national currency in order to pay the salaries that take a large part of the budget. He says having large amounts of dollars on the market will lead to market sufficiency and low demand, and thus significantly lower prices. There's other things that could work as well. I'm not so sure this gentleman is on the right page or not. He's not necessarily wrong, because supply and demand do drive markets. So if they flood dollars into the market, which they've told you that they don't want to sell dollars outside of commodities, etc., unless you have a license to do so, and it's through proper channels, through the proper electronic systems. So when he says that they're going to pump dollars in, I'm curious to see what does he mean by that, and we're going to probably see and find out very shortly. So as you see, the news has been pretty interesting the last couple of days. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. And thanks again, Ty. That was really nice to see you today. And everybody, if you like our channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to help keep us all going, up and running, tap those donate buttons. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.